Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to do some projects for my nephew's wedding. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, first of all, let me show you some cards I've been getting in the mail lately. This is a really beautiful one that I got from my friend Robin. Has some little stamps of pumpkins and apples and pears on the inside. Really pretty. And I like how she used, I don't know if you can see this, metallic pens on just little spots here and there, and then these really pretty little enamel dots. Then my friend George's, who always comes up with amazing cards. These little, I don't know what we'll call them. We'll call them glittery pieces. I think she might have made those herself, but I'm not sure. George's, let me know if you did or not, because it's really pretty. And then she always writes in the back, created by George's. I love that. And then my friend Adrian from Romania, it took me 3 tries to get a card to him in Romania, and it only took him 1 to get one to me, so clearly there's something amiss with what I do. But anyway, he sent me this one, and the first thing he did, look how cool this is. Isn't that neat? Look at that beautiful, it's a flower. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. And then, of course, on the inside, he has a big sentiment, but isn't that beautiful? I just love that. Thanks, Adrian, for making me feel like I need to work on my skills of making a flower in the middle of a card. Really beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. You know I love getting cards, and I always keep all my cards, so I really appreciate that. So let's talk about what I'm making for my nephew's wedding. If you watched the alcohol marker video, you saw me make a bunch of things like these, and a bunch of seahorses. We're going to use these in the project. It wasn't all just to show you how to use them. So I went to a stamp show last year, and they had the booth Just for Fun, which of course I can't find it now. It was a booth called Just for Fun, and they sell red rubber stamps that you have to cut out all the outer part, I guess we'll call it. And I bought these, and the one I really like that I'm using today is the Stamp Tangle Sea Kelp Large. It's E3794. You can buy from them online, but I went to a stamp show and bought those, and I really like this sea kelp. So what I'm doing, I'm showing you how I'm going to use this in my project. The first thing I'm going to do is use this Real Rust ink from Stampin' Up. It's one of those inks from the early 2000s, I swear. I don't want that in there. That's for something else. Another project I have to show you. So we're just going to ink this so that we get a good image of it. You want to make sure that you keep it in your MISTI when you do the next part. And the next part is taking a water brush with your ink, making sure I have water coming out, and I'm going to take some of the ink off there, and I'm just going to ink this. One of the things I found when doing this that it never occurred to me is, you know, you get so much ink on the door of your MISTI when you're doing things, well, I do anyway, that it's really simple to use that. But you need to make sure you have a lot of water because it's much denser. It's a much darker ink when you take it off your door. So you have to make sure you keep that in mind, because clearly I had some issues with that. Don't forget, you're leaving this in place. Hold it in place too, because you want to make sure that this doesn't move, because we're going to stamp it again. And stamping it again makes it so that once you are done with this inking, if any of the lines blurred, or if it's not as crisp looking as you want it to, once you stamp it again, you'll see such a big difference. And I don't mind that some of it's darker, some of it's lighter. I don't mind that, because once you cut it out, you'll figure out that people don't really see any of that, you know, the lighter, darker, darker, lighter images. So what we're going to do then, I kept it in place with my magnet. I'm just going to make sure that I get this well inked this time. And sometimes it helps me if I use my Baron that was here a minute ago, but now I don't see where I threw it. I don't know how I lose things like that. It's bigger than a bread box, basically, and I still lost it. Oh, it's probably on the floor. And then sometimes you go over it a couple times just to make sure that you get a lot of ink there on those edges. Like that. Nice and dark. That's what you want. Then, what we'll do, get this out of the way, we don't need it anymore, is you'll cut it out. And what I do first of all when I'm cutting it out is I take, this is a disposable scalpel that one of my viewers sent me, and I take it and I run it down this center section and make sure it's cut through all the paper, because that center section has to be cut out. And I'm going to have Rich just kind of get rid of me, blur this out so you don't have to sit and watch me cut for an hour. But basically all you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut out your image right up to those lines. So I've basically cut everything out on this, except I wanted to show you that center section. I made that little snip through the middle, and then what I'm just going to do is finish by, I went through the middle, used that little snip that I started with, and then I'm just going to turn this and keep going around and hopefully not destroy it. Then the very last part of this is that you're going to take your water brush again. Worst water brush ever, doesn't seem to want to put out any water. Okay. And then you're just going to go around this inner section, because you don't want the white of that inner part to show. So we're just going to keep going around in there so that it's all colored. I also kind of colored the backs of them. I don't know if you'll see it through the bottle, but anyway, that's what I did. And then to clean your water brush, here's what you do. You squeeze the water out of it, and you wipe it on a towel, and then it's clean. You see that? And then you just want to recap it like that. So let me show you what my project is. I bought these bottles. Now the bottles didn't look like this. They looked like this. But I went to Michael's, and Michael's had these little grids, I'll call them, and to put my wooden pieces in that hold the different images. I wish I had those right here. I'll show them to you at the end. But anyway, this is going to be the thing that holds the images in place. So we don't need that for now. What we're going to do is I'm going to try and decide exactly how I want this to be arranged. And I'm going to use my Xyron machine to adhere these. And a Xyron is basically a little tiny X that makes a sticker. And it's very, very simple to use. See where the arrow is? You put your image in there, face up. Well, I'll explain that more in a second. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. So let's first look at how I want to do this. I think I want to have one of these, and maybe I'll tuck one of these coral first. So I think I'm going to just put several coral in. Now here's the thing you have to understand. I'm going to put these inside the jar, not on the outside. I'm going to put them on the inside. So that means, the reason I stopped telling you that about face up before, that means I'm going to put these in face down, because I want the sticky stuff to be on the front, not the back. And I hope that made some sense. It will in a minute if it didn't already. And I'm going to try and get maybe 3 of these in here at a time. And then all you do is on the bottom, you pull, and you want to make sure that all 3 of these are moving, and they are, and you pull them until they're out through the bottom. See that? Let's do one of these. Again, you're putting it face up. I'm going to have to do the whole image. Woo! I'm stronger than I thought. Let's put one of these in. His nose is a little bit crooked, but I'll fix that in a second. Okay, so we're going to just do one portion of this, and I'm going to have to fix his nose. the sticky part, wait, you want to rub it too. I forgot to tell you that part. You want to rub it to make sure the sticky part stays where you need it to. And I need to make sure that when I pull this backing paper off, I'm going to have to make sure that I do something to fix his nose. And hopefully I can just pick up his nose and lay it down flat. There is some adhesive still on this, so maybe if I slid that under his nose and it pushed on it, maybe it would pick it up. Okay, so, and the first thing I want to do is I want to adhere the thing that is going to be, the thing that I want to have hidden behind this. So I'm going to have to put this on first, and then I'll put the little piece of coral on next. So let's all cross our fingers and hope I don't screw this up really bad. Oh, if you have any little sections, like right in here, I can see a little bit of the adhesive. Try to make sure you get all of that out if you don't want to see it. Okay. Trying to go to the very bottom, because this is my biggest component, is this seahorse. And then if you get to a spot where you can't reach it or you can't get it to lay in place, then you're going to use some other tool to make sure that you really rub it down, because you don't want it to come off, especially if you have things like I'm going to be sticking little wooden dowels in and out of here, so I don't want those little wooden dowels to end up having a problem getting stuck on this. We are going to try one of these little fellas, and again we're going with the idea that the front, the front is adhered to this. And I do have the kind of tweezers that when you let go of them, you know, they're not hard to use, but I don't seem to do well with those either. I don't know where I want to put this. This way? I'm going to go in left-handed and maybe make it, I'm going to start right there. See if I can push his little ender down. Okay. Then on our next piece, which would be this one, it's going to be the trickiest one probably to do. My goal here is to put our blowfish, which isn't as big as the seahorse. I'm going to put the blowfish so that the blowfish is going to be in front of this. Okay, let's run our little blowfish through and see if I can. I'm going to have to use my bigger one for this. So this is my bigger Xyron. Xyrons come in a bunch of different sizes, and this one works a little bit differently. With this one, of course, you're going to slide things in just like you were on the other one. And on this one, it's 5 inches across, so I can put several of these pieces in there. There, you see that? That's how it works. Then there's, on my side, I've got a crank. And I'm just going to hopefully crank these bad boys through. And then on this one, there's this bar. You're going to press down on the bar and then push this little red lever, we'll call it, across. And then that pulls them out. Now, I'm not sure if I'll need any more of this, so we'll just set that aside for now. I might end up putting another piece of coral over here. So let's go to our blowfish. And you got to take the backing off. This is kind of tricky. You have to be careful because your adhesive will kind of fight you, especially if you have like these little pointy pieces on my blowfish. So you want to make sure you get all those little spots of stuff out of the way. We'll call it stuff. And I just pushed them down like that. Then we're going to use something to make sure we adhere them. Then, this is the one where we're going to put our piece of, what did we call this? I forgot it already. Kelp is what they called it, but that actually took some of my sticky stuff off, so I'm going to use a glue stick. A little bit more glue in there. Okay. Then, tweezers. Make sure we get them all laying down flat, if we can. Oh, that's really cute, I think. There's that one, and there's this one. I think I need more coral on that side, but that's okay. Then I'm just going to do, on this side, I'm just going to do one of the little bluefish, because it's the handle, so not much is going to really show there. If later I decide I want to add more, I can always add more, but for now, we're going to go bluefish. Right, like that. Rub him really, really good. Another seahorse. I really thought the seahorses were the star of the show, but, you never know. Sometimes you change your mind. You go, oh, I should have done something else instead, or I should have done more of this instead of that, but move it right like that, maybe. And we'll just push them down. And then we get our little paintbrush handle. You want to make sure you really get this well adhered. I need a little bit more of this stuff. Like this. He is really cute. I like him. I mean, I'm happy with the way he's coming out so far. I could hide part of him under this. That wouldn't be too bad. Because this one is kind of faded. And I didn't really want to use it because it was faded. But because it's going to be mostly behind that little blue fella. I hate not using something like this when you get all the time to cut it out. Stick down, will ya? Do any of you talk to yourself when you're doing this stuff? Because I talk to myself non-stop, clearly. I know people will ask me all the time, how do you know what to talk about when you're on YouTube? I don't even realize I'm talking. I'm mostly just talking to myself. Yes, I'm crazy. Don't tell me when I said that, because it's true. Well, he looks better now that he's got some kelp behind him. So I have this piece of kelp that I think I want to add over to the right of the seahorse. I think I have it the way I want it. Okay, so here is our jar. We'll put the lid in, and I'll go get the little the things that I'm going to put on top of it, and then you guys can check that out and see what you think. Okay, so here is one of my jars, and as you can see, it has all these little things that you hold them up to your face, and they're all different kinds. I got these from AliExpress. I thought they were really fun, and so for the rehearsal dinner, because it's just going to be family and close friends, we thought it'd be fun to just do these crazy mouths. And then I have for the wedding, I have more appropriate ones, things that say like bridegroom, best of luck, things like that. And I'm excited about that. So that'll be the other jar. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.